So we're going to be adding and subtracting fractions. Hit pause, copy the lesson objective and the keywords down. Once you've done that, hit play and we'll move on to our starter. So for our starter today, we're going to be simplifying these fractions. As an example, say I had 6 out of 8, 6 over 8. If I want to simplify it, I'm looking for what number goes into 6 and 8. It's got to be the same number that goes into both of them. In this case, it's going to be 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I simplify that to 3/4. Let's have a look. If we had, say, 9 divided by 12, we could do the same sort of thing. We're looking for what divides the numerator and the denominator. In this case, the number that goes into both of them is 3. So if we put divide by 3 and divide by 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So just so happens we've got the same simplification. Okay, your turn. So copy the question down, find out what goes into both numerator and denominator. Hit pause, off you go. Okay, so let's work our way through these. Get your green pen. Well, this has been a nice kind one for us because we've got a 4 as the denominator here. So in order to get 4, we've got to divide by 5 to get there. So divide by 5. If we do that to the denominator, we've got to do the same thing to the numerator, and that gives us 3/4 again. Okay, again we've got to divide numerator and denominator. This time is divide by 2. And so 4 divided by 2 is 2 out of 7. Question number 3. Got to divide by 2. And that gives us 2 out of 3. Question number 4. Divide by 4. Should have 1 out of 5. Question number 5. Divide by 4. So you should have 1 out of 3. Divide by 6. So we should have 2 out of 3. Divide by 2. 7 out of 8. Here we're going to divide by 7, which will give us 4 out of 5. Again, divide by 7. So that's 2 out of 3. And the last one is divide by 5. 2 out of 5. Okay, so what I want you to do, as always, rag your work and put a comment as to how well you think you've done. Okay. Once you're ready, hit play and we'll look at adding fractions and subtracting. So as an introduction, we're going to use graphics. So we're going to use these circles, and they're divided first into 4 and then into 8. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sectors. This first one sector is shaded, so that's 1 out of 8. It's shaded in that circle. Here, 2 sectors are shaded. Now that's 2 out of 8. Now we can simplify that because we can divide by 2 because it's a quarter. But we can also see that a quarter, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/4 of the whole shape is shaded. So as part of the whole, that's 1/4. If we look at this one here, we've got 1, 2, 3 sectors are shaded, so 3 out of 8. And in the last one, I'm sure you can spot straight away how much is shaded. Is 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, or half of the circle. Now, we could use these to add and subtract fractions. If I wanted to add 1 out of 8 plus 1 out of 8, I can use my large circle here. I can shade 1/8. That's 1 out of 8. Shade another 1/8. I can see straight away that 1 out of 8 plus 1 out of 8 gives me 2 out of 8. Okay? but that's also a quarter, because a quarter of the circle is shaded. So we could simplify that. If we have a look at another example, this time 1 out of 8 plus a quarter. So I shade 1 out of 8. Happy doing that. To shade a quarter is the same thing as 2 out of 8, so I've got to shade 2 sectors. Okay? And so when I add them together, 1, 2, 3 sectors are shaded, so 3 out of 8 is shaded. Okay? So what we're trying to do when we add them, I'm making them the same denominator. 1 out of 8 plus 2 out of 8 gives me 3 out of 8. So when they have the same denominator, I can add them. When I have 1/8 plus a quarter, I'm not really sure what to do. I change that quarter to 2 out of 8, and it works really well. Let's try another one. So a quarter plus a quarter, now they have the same denominator, so that means I could add the numerator. That's going to give me 2 out of 4. Let's have a look when we shade it. A quarter is 2/8, so I'm going to shade 2/8, and I'll shade another 2/8 for another quarter, and that does give me half of a circle. Okay, 4 out of 8 or 2 out of 4, which is a half. So we're looking for trying to make those denominators the same. Let's have a look at this one here. A half plus an eighth. So half is 4 out of 8. So I can say 4 out of 8 plus 1 out of 8 will give me 5 out of 8. There's my 4 out of 8. And if I add 1/8 to it, altogether I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sectors are shaded. 5 out of 8. Okay, good. A half plus a quarter. Again, I could shade a half of the circle, or 4 out of 8 parts, and then shade a quarter, or 2 out of 8. And altogether that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8. Or, can I simplify 6 out of 8? Yes, I can, to 3/4. Okay, good. What I want us to do now is to have a look at an example. Okay, so we've got a slightly different graphic this time. 3 out of 8 plus 4 out of 8. So we can shade 3 out of 8 in here. 1, 2, 3 out of 8. And add 4 out of 8. So I'll shade 4 out of 8 as well. Altogether that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8. So I can write 7 out of 8. Or I could just add 3 and 4. Same sort of thing here. Because I've got the same denominator, 12. I could add 7 and 4, which should give me 11. But if I look at it in the grid, shade 7 squares, there we go, and then shade 4 squares. And if I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it does work. Okay, so what have we got here? If they have the same denominator, then we can add the fractions nicely. Let's have a look at these couple of questions, which I want you to do in your book in a second. We'll do the first one together. We've got 3 out of 10 plus 4 out of 10. Same denominator, so we can add them. It gives me 7 out of 10. Okay, so what I want you to do is write classwork. Copy and complete all 10. Once you've done that, hit play, and we'll go through the answers. Right then, on these, let's have a look at what we've got. I got 4 out of 6 plus 1 out of 6, so we should have 5 out of 6. This is a subtraction, so the same rules apply. Same denominator, so 6 take away 2, it's 4 out of 7. 9 take away 3, same denominator, so we get 6 out of 12. But with equivalent fractions, we can simplify this. We got something that goes into the top, divide by 6 and divide by 6. So we should have a half. Okay? 6 divided by 6 is 1, 12 divided by 6 is 2. Adding these, 4 and 7 gives me 11 out of 13. All the same denominator. 9 add 11 is 20 out of 21. 11 out of 15 you should have. 9 out of 11. 14 take away 7, 7 out of 23, and finally 8 take away 4, so that's going to be 4 out of 12, which will simplify. Oops, put an arrow there. Divide by 4 and divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, good. Right, now we've done that, I've got some work I want you to do in your books. So I want you to start at question number 4. Question 4, start at 4 and work your way through. Make sure you write the question and the answer, not just the answer, okay? And work your way through up to question 14. Okay, good luck.